Drying is a possible last stage in a sludge treatment process which takes place just after the dewatering stage. What are the different dewatering systems used? Here we look at natural systems and then look at thermal processes. Drying is the last stage in a sludge treatment process. This stage enables the highest level of dry content to be achieved. It varies between 60 and 90%, depending on the process used and the sludge's composition. Sludge changes from a semi-solid state following dewatering to a solid, even dry state. Two main drying systems are used: natural drying systems and thermal drying systems. Let us look at natural drying systems. Among these, we will look at natural drying beds and reed drying beds. In the case of natural drying beds, sludge to be treated is sent to a sand bed. This is a two-stage process. The first consists in percolating free water, i.e. to pass water through sand beds. Free water is water that can be extracted from sludge via a mechanical process. The second consists in drying the bound water, i.e. water which cannot be extracted from sludge via a mechanical process. To do this, bound water is dried via wind or the sun. Drying beds with reeds work in a similar way as those with sand. The difference being that the sludge to be treated is deposited onto a filtering media where reeds are planted. Reed root ramifications enable the water to be successfully removed, and plant growth encourages sludge mineralization. In regards to the thermal drying systems, two exist: direct and indirect. In direct drying systems, sludge freely changes in a revolving drum. A hot gas, known as a heat transfer gas, is introduced into the drum. When water in the sludge comes into contact with the gas, it evaporates in the form of moist air, whereas the dried sludge is collected at the equipment's outlet. Now, let us look at indirect sludge drying systems. Here, the temperature of the heat transfer gas is low. This is why, unlike direct drying, the indirect process is equipped with scrapers and pallets. These elements enable sludge to be turned in order to ensure that the heat transfer gas comes into contact with the wet sludge. Like direct drying, water from the sludge evaporates as vapor and dried sludge is recovered at the equipment's outlet. Thermal drying requires many precautions to be taken to avoid accidents such as fire starts, and its operation leads to significant energy consumption. What you need to remember: drying system, thermal or natural, enable a dry content of 60 to 90% to be achieved. Two types of drying processes exist: natural processes, such as sand drying beds or reed drying beds, and thermal processes, such as direct or indirect drying.